Hello, my name is Evan Braley, and today I'm going to be taking you through a website that I created this spring, actually. I started the process maybe around February of 2025, so this year, and it probably ended around April to May, right? So pretty quick project, working on it, while I was in school. But yeah, the purpose of this project was really just to kind of hone my web development skills, really get comfortable with HTML and explore more advanced features with CSS, but also to create a product that works for a real life business. My whole design, motto going through this was self-evident design, right? I wanted to create a website that was very easy for a new user to pick up and understand immediately, right? Like I didn't want to create a website that had some confusing parts. I want it to be really straightforward, simple in design, yet effective at conveying the site's message and, being functional in what the user's needs were. So I am very proud of this website. I definitely think I accomplished my goals that I set out. I did a lot of different design techniques, throughout its inception that I'd never really tried before. I created wireframes. I even did usability testing on the wireframes, but also on the website as I was developing it. I did these on my girlfriend, some friends I have, just getting new random people and just throwing them in the middle of it and just seeing and noting how they react to different things. And yeah, that was something that I'd never really done before, but I know it's very common in the real world of web development. So I wanted to mimic that, right? So let's kind of take you through it. So this is the homepage, right? You load up in the website and you're greeted with this. We have a persistent header that kind of scrolls with you as you scroll on the page. We know we're on the homepage because we have this highlight here. We have this big welcome thing that grabs your attention immediately. We have some, slight informational text here. We have some taglines. And, we have an order now button, right? Immediately calling you to action, right? Good, simple, direct. We scroll down, we have some more product examples, just some very cursory overview stuff you'd typically find on the homepage, right? Homepage is meant to be a home base for the website, and I think this page really successfully, accomplishes that. We have some good color scheme, how it, transitions throughout the page, which I think makes it very aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, very simple, but that's the homepage. Then we can go to the gallery, and we can see, all the different products that Melina kind of has. She has holiday bouquets, graduation bouquets, birthday bouquets, anniversary bouquets. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I created this entire website by finding a stakeholder, a local business owner, and Melina was kind enough to allow me to use her company to create this website. She doesn't really have the need for a website, so this actually didn't get fully deployed, but I told her she always has the option to. She loved the website and how it came out. But basically this whole project was using her as kind of like the base of a real life business, so I could get experience working with someone to make a website for their needs. So this is Melina's business, Simply Sweet Bouquets. But yeah, these are some of the bouquets that she makes and sells. She does money bouquets, so not your typical flower bouquet, but very fun. And yeah, so this is the gallery page. You can see this call to action button right here. Click here to order now, which will bring us to the order page. So now we have the product order form. It has some brief instructions of what's going to happen. So if we fill this out, right, let's say our name's test, subject, we get this random email that I used for testing out the development. Through a fake address here. Let's do yellow. Let's do organza, just because, the theme. We have all these different options, and these are options that Melina uses, in her real business, right? When people are ordering. Let's say we want gummies. Let's say, ignore this is a test, right? Okay, so I'm not going to actually submit this form, because if I submitted this form, what would happen is me, in this case, team5it502@gmail.com, would get a confirmation email confirming that the order was placed, and Melina would get an email sent to her that includes all of the order information, so she can then contact the customer and finish out that ordering process, right? So for this demo, I did kind of change up the code a little bit just so I could have both emails sent to this address. So I'm not going to submit it, but I will show you what those emails end up looking like. So this is what the customer will receive. Hello, insert name here. We have received your order from Simply Sweet. Expect an email to come from Melina within the next day or two. Discuss your order further. Then we have a nice little, from. And to do this, this was actually really interesting, right? So for much of the website, I just use, typical HTML and CSS. But for this order part, I really had to delve into JavaScript. And I was researching, how can I get emails to be sent just from, a simple website? And I stumbled across Email.js, which uses JavaScript to send emails. You can actually use email clients and it'll send them. And it's really cool. So I really got familiar with that, and I was able to send this confirmation email to the customer, but also what Melina would receive is something like this, right? Hello, Melina. There's a new order from Simply Sweet. It gives you the name, the email, and all these different fields that we filled out on the other page. So then Melina, on her end, can then contact, this email, this customer's email, and figure out things further. So that was really cool to develop. Definitely probably one of the most complicated parts of this from a coding standpoint. It took me a while to figure out how all that worked, but I was very glad with how it came up. And if I did hit submit, there also would be a big confirmation box, just saying hey, your order has been confirmed, check your email for further confirmation. So great order form, really proud. Click on reviews, we can see all the different customer reviews. And yeah, there's just some 5-star reviews from real people that Melina provided me the reviews for. And yeah, very simple page. We can go to the About page to learn more about Simply Sweet, as an organization, but also about Melina, right? So I just think this website came out very good. Definitely a lot better than my weightlifting website that I had, created a couple years ago and is on this YouTube channel as well. And yeah, I think I really just honed in a lot of different web development skills. I think I really, improved from a CSS standpoint. Also, learning JavaScript was pretty cool. And yeah, I think design-wise, this website is probably the best I've ever created. And I really liked the idea of going into the project, focusing on design entirely for, weeks until the design was 100% perfect and I had researched everything and planned everything fully. And then coding it was so easy once I had that done because it was just creating what I had already thought of in my head. You know what I mean? And that's something that's a lot more simple than trying to, just code as I'm designing and figuring things out, on the fly, because then that just, you change so much and then you don't even know what you're going in with for code. And I don't know, I think that was my biggest takeaway from working on something like this. And, it paid off. This is an amazing website. And, Melina loved it. And it was great. It filled her needs as a business. And yeah. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will link the GitHub repo down below in the description if you want to check out my code for this. And yeah, thank you so much.